because of the type of weapons being developed, both by Hitler and by America, the interstellars, as I call them, became very which I believe, carefully in analyzing the history of this. And so the president at that point did assemble a group of folks who worked on the Manhattan Project, Dr. And others to look into the issue. By range in New Mexico and Alamogordo, that area, were being overflown regularly by UFOs. And they could see where this was headed. So this was not something that just and the President of the United States. Everything changed in 1956. Now, when we had the only nuclear, and actually technically it's an atomic bomb squadron and not a thermonuclear one that was developed later. Everybody know the difference between atomic and thermonuclear? Atomic bomb is fission, nuclear is fusion, hydrogen. Anyway, the atomic bomb that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki was developed, as you all know, in New Mexico, and it was tested at White Sands, and eventually in Roswell, New Mexico, that was for a number of years before the Soviet Union developed them. And in 1947, there were 2 or 3 squadron, which was the only atomic bomb squadron in the world, and they switched on suddenly an alleged radar system. Read this document carefully. Warfare systems that we'll get into later. But suffice it to say, it was an early scalar Star Wars hit. And when they switched that on, workshop. This became a huge concern for the Allies. And the Allies dispatched, or the President, I should say, on behalf of the Allies, dispatched a man named General Jimmy Doolittle. Now, how do I know this? Because his nephew is a dear friend of mine, Dr. John Altshuler. Dr. Altshuler is also in the Pacific, but mainly in Europe, where there were these things called, were objects that were flying around our aircraft in World War II.